Now turning to our series of reports on foreigners' opinions on how Shanghai should improve to become more international. Our recent survey of nearly 100 expats here in Shanghai found that many say China's visa policy is very strict. So in tonight's report, we will compare the policy here to some other countries and look at what changes China has made to attract more expat workers. Xin Zhicong reports.
46-year-old Steen Tyson from Denmark is the CEO of this Danish company's Shanghai headquarters. He says he decided to live in Shanghai after making several visits as an ordinary traveler, and says traveling to China isn't as easy as going to many other places.
In most countries that I come to, I don't need a visa. I get a visa on arrival. It's only in countries like Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, China.
Depending on their nationality, many travelers get visas on arrival in other countries or may be allowed in without one. But here in China, unless you can prove you're coming for a medical or family emergency or for certain kinds of business reasons, you have to apply for a visa in advance. And for foreigners who want to stay and work here, getting a work visa is a must. Tyson is working here on an expat contract, and his company's headquarters in Denmark has done all the paperwork for his work visa. Still, he and other Europeans say the visa requirements here are much greater than for most countries back home.
We have to renew every year. Yeah. And after 14 years living in China, I have the privilege of getting it renewed every second year, every other year. In the European Unions, we have a free labor market, so I can work anywhere I want in Europe.
I'm applying for my working visa, and they require 2 years prior experience. For us, we are European, of course, it's very easy we don't need visa to go to London.
In some ways, China's work visa policy is stricter than many other countries. First, foreigners must be employed to get a residence permit for longer than 1 year. But that is not necessarily so in many other places, like Singapore or Britain. And the second issue is the length of the work visa. More than 90% of expat workers in China hold visas valid for only 1 year. But some of the most common work visa types in other countries are valid for more than 1 year. And usually after one extension, foreign workers can apply for permanent residence, which is not the same as citizenship. But few people apply for permanent residence here in China. Only 2,000 foreigners here have that status, and half of them live here in Shanghai. The number is a tiny fraction of the number of green card holders in the United States. Although China hasn't upgraded its immigration procedures since the mid-1980s, work on drafting a new law started last year, aiming to better manage the increasing number of immigrants. There is so far no detailed information about the new law, but the Exit and Entry Administration Bureau in Shanghai says the visa policy is actually loosening for expats working here.
Shanghai has been granting preferential policies for expats. For example, all the expat employees working for foreign companies' regional headquarters in Shanghai may apply for 3 to 5 year working visas. And unlike other cities that require a $30 million investment in order to get a longer visa term, we have lowered our requirement to $3 million.
Lo says there are other ways that might allow expats to stay longer, like the spouse visa. Steen Tyson, whose wife is Chinese, is trying to apply for that. He says that kind of visa would make travel in and out of Shanghai easier. But although he says he enjoys working here, he says under China's current visa policy, retiring here is not a priority. Xin Zhicong, Shanghai Live.